Hi everybody, my name is Jake Johnson. Welcome to Jake Showcase. I do videos on Wednesdays. Today, I'm going to tell you tips and techniques of how I got a job at an Ivy League school and things that you can use to maybe get a job that out of school or at a higher end place that might not be as accessible on some of the standard websites that I went over in my previous video. Now there are a lot of different jobs in the different websites that are commercial, but a lot of times what will happen is certain places know that they're in demand, and they'll have their own system or they'll have their own way of recruiting and hiring, and you just have to be familiar with that. So basically what I did was I physically started trying to scout out where I'd like to work in the city, just to get an idea of different places. I wasn't looking for anywhere in particular, but I couldn't help but notice how nice and beautiful these buildings all were, and it was a really nice place to walk around, and I wondered what it was, and I found out it was the university, right? So upon doing research, during what I would do is I would go and I went actually to the HR department, because I talked to the secretary, and what the secretary told me is that they had their own website. So I went back and looked on their website. I couldn't believe how many different jobs there were on their specific website, right? And I started applying for anything I thought was applicable, right? Now there's certain things I can do and certain things you can't do, right? So I just applied for the jobs that I thought were applicable, or the stuff that I could do, which there were quite a few. So after a few weeks or a few months, what happened was I got a call, and they were interested in hiring me for one of the positions. And so, I was really excited because not only do you have when you have a place like an Ivy League school or any sort of higher end institution, there's so many benefits, and even just the physical location and the people you're hanging around, it's really a great place to be at. So I was really excited about having the opportunity. So they basically wanted to give me an interview. In fact, there's a whole procedure when you go through anything. It's not just one interview. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4. And once I found out what the position was I was being interviewed for, I did as much research as I possibly could. I read their whole website. I read every single thing I could possibly read that they had presented, and I tried to even do my own research on what the job was and how I could help them, obtain what it was that they were looking for. Right? They were. It was a financial administrative coordinator, and so that was the job position. I had to really learn about what it was I could do, what I couldn't do. Okay, so basically, before the job interview happened, what I did was I went down and kind of got a feel for how do they dress, right? Now, some types of jobs you have to sort of know that you want to dress. You basically want to dress the way they dress. If they're more casual, you want to be more casual. If they're more sophisticated, you want to be more sophisticated. If they're dressed to the nines, you want to be dressed to the nines. And so basically, dependent on how the people who are dressed, who are actually doing the job or who are involved around that area, that's how you should dress. You want to look like you fit. And sometimes in any sort of facility or location, they might have different sort of levels, and so certain people dress one way and certain people dress another, but you got to know. Sometimes they even go down to what kind of color are they wearing, right? You want to wear their color. So I had done all the research, and I tried to wow them. In fact, I did wow them. I wowed the first interviewer, the second interview, and I think the third interview, I wowed all of them, right, with my knowledge, sophistication, and desire and demand to want to do this job, right? So I tried to shine, and it worked, right? I don't think anybody else had any sort of knowledge, had done the research. And so when I went home, I topped it off by writing a thank you letter. I know it's old-fashioned and this and that, and some people say do the thank you email. I say no way. The old-fashioned physical email letter, and I dropped it off that night. I think it was, that night. So that the next day, when they went in, they had the thank you letter there. And I think that really impacted. I don't think anybody does that, right? So between all of that, they decided to hire me. And I was really happy. So I guess my tips is that you want to physically go there, you want to try to talk to somebody, you want to follow the instructions that the institution gives you to the best that you can, you do want to actively apply, and you want to keep applying and keep applying and keep applying, right, until you get a phone call, if you get a phone call, right? And then once you have the job that you're interviewing for, you want to do as much research so as much, maybe even more than they do about the position that they're trying to fill, and how you can help them, because it's all they're hiring, right? So they want to know how can you help them, right? And so just wow, and then of course the personality, the dress, the thank you card, it all works. All right, so that's for my recommendations on how you get a job at an Ivy League institution. In fact, many of those recommendations are good for any kind of job that you're getting. All right, I hope that helps somebody out there and encourages you. You can do it. All right, don't forget to like my video below and subscribe to my channel up above. I do my videos on Wednesdays, and I hope you have a wonderful day.